Alright, so we got King Charles here, the guy that rules over Canada and the UK and pretty much everywhere else. He is talking about how he has been proactively going at this or working at this for the last 40 years. And you guys may ask, well, how on earth do these companies go and change all these things, like take a plastic straw and turn it into paper, or shrinkflation where they shrink down your stuff and they make it more expensive? They do it through, because I had to watch this through the private sector. Okay, they use the private sector to push these plans, as I'll call them. I can't say more than that. Welcome, and I don't know why it says Prince. This must be an older video. It should be King, but whatever. We'll just deal with it that way. I want you to listen to him and not me. And you'll see, if you're awake, you will see the points. And you'll find the points very quickly when he's talking. So I'm going to watch this again with you guys. I'm not going to interrupt either. The damn chair. Hold on. I hate that. There we go.
The current pandemic has brought unimaginable devastation to people's lives, livelihoods, and national economies. At the same time, the green recovery represents an unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live and do business. Now, I've long believed that we need a shift in our economic model that places nature and the world's transition to net zero at the heart of how we operate, prioritizing the pursuit of sustainable, inclusive growth in the decades to come. Having been championing climate action now for the last, I suppose, 40 years, I can tell you that this isn't a fight for the faint-hearted. However, increasingly, we are seeing more and more businesses, investors and consumers prioritizing sustainability and thus creating a much more virtuous circle of supply and demand. By leveraging market forces and the immense resources of the private sector, there is hope that we can transform the situation. But I'm afraid we are literally at the last hour, and there is real urgency for action. We know now what we have to do to rescue the situation. We know now what we have to action. Urgency for action. We know, and there is real urgency for action. We know we're literally at the last hour, or literally at the last hour, or literally at the last hour, or literally at the last hour, and there is real urgency for action. We know now what we have to do to rescue the situation, rather than going on talking about it.
Okay, now I will interject here. Net zero. What do you think net zero is? Net zero happens to be the guy behind the screen, such as myself. Net zero happens to be your children, your grandparents, yourself, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. It happens to be people. If you're listening to him properly, you will understand what he is saying. And if you don't understand what he's saying, I'm not going to go into it. I'm already shadow banned enough here. I'm sorry about the camera move around a lot. I need a better way of doing these videos, but I thought I'd take some time out today and do a video for you guys. To all that appreciate it, YouTube does not. So I have a few more to pump out, but I want you to think about that. Net zero. There is a carbon tax in Canada. Certain areas of Canada, like Ontario and places like that, get a carbon tax. But that's if you are, say, in a poorhouse, quote unquote. So the poorhoused people, well, not just the lower class, we'll say, get money in their account every, I think, 3 months or something like that. And I guess they appreciate that. But anyway, net zero. There was another thing that caught my ear beforehand, not on this video, but another video. So I am sorry that I forget what it is. My brain is getting old, and I don't remember as much as I used to when I was younger. But yeah, net zero. We call it carbon, the carbon tax. They're literally in Canada, well, in Ontario mainly, they are literally taxing you as people as you breathe. Carbon tax, net zero. Get it? Got it? Good. And I can't mention anything else right now, and I will later on. Peace.